Hi everybody, my name's Tim Gresh. I am a professional bike fitter in Westchester, Pennsylvania, and this video will be bike fit for riding the trainer. In honor of this video, I'm wearing my DC Rainmaker Trainer and Chill t-shirt, so shout out to my buddy DC Rainmaker. He probably doesn't even know I exist, but maybe he'll see this and we will become friends. Who knows? So I'm gonna have two parts to this video. This video here, part one, will be just bike fit, and then there will be a part two on the equipment that you use for your setup to kind of optimize comfort, fans, the smart trainer, things like that. Also, this video will particularly be beneficial for those of you who have a dedicated trainer bike. So a lot of folks have like an old bike that kind of lives on the trainer. You'll probably get a lot out of this video. However, if you have one bike and that's kind of your all-purpose bike, there are some things in here that you'll be able to pick up and hopefully benefit from for riding indoors. Now, riding indoors is not as comfortable generally as riding outside. I mean, for most folks, that's the case. Obvious reasons, you're in this static position riding indoors. So it just tends to be less comfortable. Some of the imperfections in your fit, I would say, kind of come to the surface when you're riding inside. So we're gonna go over saddle, handlebars, and cranks and discuss some things we can do to hopefully make it a little bit better for you. So starting off with this saddle, I'm gonna give you my 3 picks for saddles that have worked well for folks riding indoors. Now, here at Gresh Fit, we do have indoor training classes on smart trainers. We've been offering them for over 10 years. So we have a ton of experience with riding indoors, working with a variety of different athletes, troubleshooting all sorts of different things as it relates to indoor cycling. So some of the feedback that we got is what's driving these 3 picks that I'm giving you here. So first off will be Cell SMP. This is called the VT30C. Now I'm going to leave links in the description below to all of the products that I'm mentioning in this video. This saddle works really well for women in particular. My wife uses this saddle. She loves it. I have at least a half dozen women that come to our studio and train that use this as well, and they really enjoy it. These are women, a variety of different heights and sizes, and they like it. This one's just been good overall. Great track record. The Cell SMP VT30C. If you get this out, put it on your bike at dead level. The next one would be the Velo Senso. So this one was introduced to me by a bike fitter in Minnesota named Chris Balzer, very talented bike fitter. If you're in that area, definitely check him out for a bike fit. This is basically like a triathlon saddle. I mean, technically that's what it's marketed as, but I found this to be just a great saddle across the board for road riders, triathletes, pretty much anybody. And it has a wide nose, a channel down the middle. It's just kind of like this big platform, kind of just a lot of room, gets rid of pressure points. It's just sort of like a nice couch that you're sitting on. So the Velo Senso, this one also dead level when setting it up on your bike. Last one, this is the Infinity saddle. This always gets the attention of folks. As you can see, a giant cutout in the middle. The idea with this saddle is that you are basically sitting on the outer perimeter, and then your sitting bones are pretty much like floating on air. You're not really contacting anything. You're not loading the bones at all. Some folks tell me it's off-putting at first. And for some people, it's just a deal breaker because it has this big dip in the middle. So when you sit on it, you just kind of get like locked in. If you have thick padded shorts, those will kind of bunch up and not feel very comfortable. So ideally you use this saddle with cycling shorts that have no padding or just a little bit of padding. And then when you put this on your bike, you're gonna wanna set this at about 3 degrees nose down. So put a flat object on it like a book, put a level on top, ideally like a digital level. Try to get this thing at 3 degrees nose down. That's usually a good starting point. The only downside to this is that it's very expensive. They start at about 350 bucks or so and go from there. So the Infinity saddle. Now, moving on to the handlebars. I would say, generally speaking, raise your bars 1 to 2 centimeters and bring them in 1 to 2 centimeters. So get your position more upright and closer. That's just right off the gate a good thing to do for indoor training, making that upper body a little bit more comfortable in the cockpit. That's pretty easy to do. Get another stem with more rate of upward slope, and then typically that'll get you where you need to be. The other thing would be the handlebars themselves. If you have old style handlebars that have a weird kind of pressure point where the hood merges into the handlebars, I did make a video on that topic, hand discomfort. That's a good one to check out where I kind of dive into this a little bit more. But if you have a handlebar like that, get rid of it. And if you're gonna get a new bar, get a gravel bar. And the one that I like the most, this is the A-Wing Pro from FSA. And the reason I like this bar is because it has a nice flat surface on the tops, very comfortable. I actually have this on my trainer bike. Putting your hands up there, it feels great. And then putting your hands on the hoods, it has a nice shallow outward bend. That way the hood doesn't have that weird pressure point on it. And then also in the drops, you have about a 12-degree of flare. So the drop actually flares off to the side. That's how all gravel bars are typically. They have a little bit of a flare. And I like that because you can go down the drops, have a little bit of a wider grip, kind of more roomy. You get out of the saddle, kind of moving around a little bit. You're not gonna get hit by the end here. Now this handlebar that I'm holding is a size 48. This is not the size that I would use. It's the only one that I had kind of laying around here to show you, but they do make these down to a size 42, which is what I would use personally. But yeah, the A-Wing Pro from FSA, great handlebar. Now, moving down to the cranks. Now, I do have 2 videos on crank length. I'm a big fan of having the right crank length for the rider. Now, on your trainer bike, you definitely don't want to neglect that. If you're riding one of your old bikes and it has cranks on it that are too long, definitely change those, because when you're riding indoors, like I said earlier, some of these imperfections in your fit will start to stand out. So if you're spinning in too big of a circle indoors, it's gonna make you move too much in the saddle, cause instability there. That's not gonna be good. It's gonna add to the discomfort. So definitely get the right crank length on here. When in doubt, maybe go a little bit on the shorter side. I don't think it really hurts to do that. I think it just improves comfort and mobility of the hips when you're riding indoors. So those are my tips for cycling indoors, improving the comfort with your bike fit. I hope you found this helpful. I will have a part 2 coming on a few other topics related to your equipment setup. Enjoy every ride.